Day. I mean, what a difference a week makes, where I was last week in my my full kit and gear with, you know, the weather being somewhat iffy, and yet today, well, while there is, you know, some clouds in the sky, it's certainly not going to rain today. And to be honest, you know, even though I've just got this on, it's even honestly too warm for that. So yeah, it's wow, what a difference. And of course, this is the big problem where you start doing this in summer. You can't see. You can't see what's going on the screen. Who have we got? Craig, good morning to you. Cathal OG, morning to you. But good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone join us. Tis the best of mornings. An incredibly sunny morning indeed. It's going to be an absolute corker of a day. Jane, good morning to you. Who else is that? Patrick, good morning to you as well. There we go. There we go. But yes, good morning, good morning, good morning to all joining us. Like I say, please do remember to click that like and share button. Let everyone else know that we're out about and out walking, as we say. Oop, there we go. And to be honest, I don't even know if I need my wellies. Like, I think I've really come over prepared by the looks of it already. Now, I think I have this morning as well. Yeah. Well, they've certainly moved the people around. Cricket this afternoon, methinks. Oh, probably. Absolutely. As with always these things. Oh, we've got someone coming to see us. Oh. But yes, all the ponies out today. Nice to see them. Dave W, good morning to you. But yeah, I didn't even need my wellies today this morning. Could have gotten away with it. Regalite, good morning. Oh, I absolutely will. Oh. Here we are. It's been so long since we've actually seen the ponies out like here. Normally they're not. And I don't know if you can see, I think. Is there a foal? I'm sure there's a foal. I'm sure there's a foal somewhere in the field. I'm sure you can see him. There is. Don't know if you can see him. He's hidden away. He's like there. Don't know if you can see him, but he's there. Oh, it's which way to go. Which way to go? I was spoilt for choice today. Tell you what, let's go the classic way. Let's go the classic way. But I'll tell you what, I don't need my wellies after today unless there's a serious downpour, because my word, the ground is absolutely bone dry. I did not need my wellies on today. Could have gotten away with it. Could have gotten away with it today, but never mind. Lesson learnt. But I hope you're all enjoying yourselves and not had a very hope you've had a very fun week. Because my word, what a glorious week it's been. What a glorious week. Patrick H, good morning to you. But what a week it's been. I mean, I think I've already said this in like one of my videos this week, but honestly, if you are Rishi Sunak, why on earth are you not calling a general election at this point? I mean, just call one already, please. Just end this now. Craig, any chance Morg tries to cross the floor? Oh, be honest, let's face it, what a coup that would be. What a coup. Sunak's holding out for a miracle, or probably. It's like, what's that miracle gonna be? What's the miracle gonna be? You've got, I think that's a new foal being born. Looks like it. And you've got the cows all over there as well. But yes, I think that is, I don't know if you can see in the field. It might be a bit difficult to see because it's right in the direction of the sun, but there is. I think that's a new foal being born. Get me Boris Johnson. Here's the thing, what could even Boris Johnson do at this point? Like, what could even Boris Johnson do? I mean, I know they wanted him and his, electoral magic to try and save them at one point, but I don't even think Johnson could save them at this point. Because you've got an ever-ticking clock, and at this point it's just like you just got to call. And because we've got no fixed term Parliament Act anymore, you've just got a situation now where you've got to put pressure on Sunak and just make him call a general election. And I know there's lots of people being really annoyed about the acceptance of I can't even remember her name now, what's her face, the MP who crossed the floor because she's a hard Brexiteer, Thatcherite, etc. But that's put a lot of pressure on Rishi Sunak. Like, that has put a lot of pressure on him, a lot of pressure on Sunak. That's it. Thank you, Patrick. Natalie Elfpick. I don't even think that's how you say her name right. But it's put a lot of pressure. It's put a lot of pressure on Sunak. And the fact that you've got now also said that there are now other Conservative MPs also now considering defecting. Well, you just put Rishi Sunak into an ever more harder position where he's got no choice, he's got no option. The calls just to call a general election are just so deafening that even, waiting for a miracle doesn't help him. Just call a Dover girl. That's a good point, Reagan. That's a very, very good point. We'll just call a Dover girl from now on. I think it's just, honestly, it's just a matter of, when now, not if. He'll call an election. Hang on. Let's just go in here, because this is the worst part about the summer. Just the glare of the screen. I can't actually see like some of the comments sometimes. Eric, good morning to you. Is Dover Girl just a mole to get Labour's manifesto and just leave it on a train? Dave W, screw politics. Let's talk about the important issues. What's going on with Eurovision? Oh, yeah. That was interesting because apparently apparently there's been an incident with Netherlands entry, so we don't know whether they'll be performing live tonight. Patrick H, yeah, Bojo is completely discredited to the public at wise to his BS. Exactly. Like, even trying to bring back Boris to campaign for Rishi is just such an incredible long shot. Just such a long shot. How does that work? How does that, you know? Craig, sorry. Streeting says that if Truss tries to cross, they'll take the lettuce instead. Patrick, he's holding out for a hero. Craig, thoughts on Andrew Levy's theory that Starmer is trying to use this chance to make Labour what is basically, quote, the natural party of government by making it okay to shift to supporting them. Yeah. That has been the traditional strategy for, I don't know, almost every single opposition party to be called the natural party of government. You know, that's their plan. They want to be seen as that, you know, as that party. And that was one of the big things that when, you know, Corbyn was in charge. Again, oh no, Corbyn bashing, I know. But when Corbyn was in charge, there were lots of people who said, I can't vote for Labour because he would be Prime Minister. And we forget that is a significant, you know, that is actually a significant thing that is, you know, proved in the polls to be in effect. And you've got this now of where you've got all these people saying, oh, well, we don't want Starmer to be Prime Minister. But if that's the case, why are Labour so far in the polls? And yet you've run back a couple of years of where those people who were saying they don't want Starmer to be Prime Minister were saying the exact opposite now, that they wanted Corbyn to be Prime Minister, and ignoring the fact continuously that there were far more people saying that they couldn't trust Corbyn as PM. Just, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's a lot of people, when it comes to politics, we're all sat around playing Monopoly, and then all of a sudden they come in and go, ha, was Colonel Mustard in the library with the candlestick, I win. And then we all look at them and go, sorry, we're playing Monopoly, not Clue. Hang on. Oh, and Knight, good morning to you. Q's absolutely trying to make it. Oop, there we go. Q's, this is even more difficult now. Trying to do this at the same time. Q's absolutely trying to make it clear to people inclined to vote Tory that it's okay to vote Labour. That's the plan. That's the whole plan. Exactly, because you need people, you know, to vote for you from that side. And another thing that I've always said that a lot of people do not seem to want to admit, there's a lot of centrists in the UK, a lot of centrists in the UK, and they far outnumber the people who ascribe to either the left and right. And if you want to win an election, you know, every single election is about how many centrists you can win over to your side. Because they're the biggest voting bloc. Like it or not, that's just the current state of the politics. And if you don't play to that, if you don't play to the centrists a bit, then yeah, you don't win elections. But don't fret too much, my friends, because time and time again we've shown in polls and everything else that, guess what, the British public is incredibly progressive on a ton of different things. So do not be worried about your centrist pals, because turns out when you look at all the data, they are quite progressive. And again, agree the difference between Keir and Jeremy is that Keir is electable. Yep, that is one thing that kept on coming up on the doorstep, even from lifelong Labour supporters. And that was ignored. Ignored by him and his team at the time. Daniel Corbyn would have been light relief. Corbyn would have been light relief compared to the path that we are on now. Patrick H, I was not happy that Starmer accepted Dover Girl, but I'm still in disbelief. Why wouldn't you? I mean, honestly, if you're an opposition party and you've got someone defecting, which again puts pressure on Sunak. Bear in mind, she's not standing to be a Labour MP at the next election either, because she's leaving. It's all about putting pressure. And bear in mind, if she'd gone to, and again, I think I've said this in another video, if like a Scottish Tory defected to the SNP, do you really think that the SNP wouldn't accept someone like Tom Tugendhat if he was to defect and cross over? Because at this moment in time, it's all about putting pressure on, just making Rishi Sunak call an election, because he is the only person who can do that right now at this moment in time. And yeah, I don't agree with a lot of stuff that, you know, she said, but hey, it eats massively wants to get into the Tory majority. And apparently there's even more now wanting to defect. So this will once again put even more pressure on Sunak. And eventually he's going to be put in no position where he just has to call one. And with morale after local elections at a complete all-time low, well, what else is he going to do? You know? What else is he going to do? Night, Patrick H, yep, she's stepping down, and it's the optics of the embarrassment of the Conservative Party that it's worth. It's chess. Yep, it's all about this move and accepting her. All about optics. Like I say, she's stepping down. She's not running as a Labour candidate in the next election. Why wouldn't you? It's just all about, at this moment, putting pressure on Rishi Sunak to call a general election, because he is the only person who can call one. You've just got to corner him to such an extent where he can't escape it. You know, as he just said, it's about playing chess. You know, we've got to start, you know, cornering him. We've got to start putting him in check till we get that checkmate. Radiant Elite, I'm least glad she's stepping down. I think it's going to boil in this weather. It was called Cluedo when I was a kid. I think it is still called Cluedo if we're here in the UK. Patrick makes for a more inclusive party. Yep. Time for an ice cream. Absolutely. Craig, the default position for centrists. There we go. So the default position for a centrist is to vote Tory in the country. Starmer's goal seems to be sorry, it keeps shifting away. Where are we? Starmer's goal seems to be permanent shift to that. So when things are mostly equal, they tend to break Labour's way. Yeah, and I'll keep on saying this, there's a lot of centrists in the UK. We are outnumbered. There's more centrists in the in the UK than there are people on the left and right. And this is what a lot of people have said, that the one of the big reasons why a lot of these people are shifting away from the Tories is because they're doing a really rightward shift. This is what has took a lot of these centrists away from the Labour Party once Corbyn sort of came in. So yeah, we are sort of seeing the reality of the politics, and this is the hand you've got to play with. Like it or not, that's just the card you've got to play with. Jane Walker, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yep. Daniel, we're now heading to a far right hell roll of losing our rights. Would we be on that path now with Uncle Jezza? Ask yourselves that. If he had won, that's very true. We probably wouldn't be on that path. But we're not headed to this far right-wing hellhole that you seem to be indicating. Like I say, you can work far, far better. If you are someone on the left, you can work with a lot of people from the centrists. That's just how it works out, unfortunately. You've got to work with other people that might not 100% agree with you. This is what I've been saying for years on this channel. And this is someone who is, firmly on the left. But I recognise the reality of, of what the political situation in the UK is. My message has always been, build alliances, build voting blocks, look at things of where you can work together. The Labour Party has proved time and time again that it works best when it's a big tent party, when it's accepting a lot of people. And even during that time, you can get a lot of progressive stuff done, because when you look at the polls, what people want, what people would vote for, it's overwhelmingly progressive. H. I think the only reason she didn't go reform was she'd have to sit with 30p Lee. Well, that tells you a lot. That tells you a lot, actually. Why didn't she cross over to sit with, and we are entering the Barnsley Triangle, so if we do lose connection, don't worry, we will return momentarily. But that tells you a lot of, why didn't she go and sit with 30p Lee? Ask yourself that question, and all of a sudden you'll realise, reform is not really seen as that good an alternative. Yes, it's probably going to eat into the Tory vote a lot at the next general election, but it is going to be significant enough where I think you could see a lot of swing seats go to the Labour, because it eats enough into the Tory vote that it swings to Labour. So that, once again, is now the opportunity that is lying before us. And the thing is, when you look at these swing seats, as I said, if you've got a lot of centrists that outnumber left and right, where are you going to swing? You don't swing right, you don't swing left, you keep it in the centre. And then guess what? The more centrists and people on the left or right, like it or not, that's just how it works out. It's just how the deck is stacked, and you just got to plan for that. And if you want to change this, by the way, you want more lefty people, you want Britain to go in a more, left way and left-leaning politics, and you've got to build up these movements, you've got to put forward the arguments, you've got to put forward the policies as to why the left and this particular policy indeed, because you'll be surprised about, when you're talking with people, that if you do not label a policy like either left or right, it actually comes out really quite good when you're talking to people. So if you're ever trying to sort of convince anyone in the future and you want to bring them around to a left-wing way of thinking, don't talk about this particular policy being either left or right-wing. Just say, this is the policy. Don't ascribe it to any political wing. I have to be quite surprised. It actually works out quite a bit good for a lot of reasons. A stream on a stream. I can just see I've had a super chat there. And I haven't got to it yet, though. Haven't got to it yet. Hang on, I'm so behind in the chat. I'm so behind. Hang on, let's speed through some of these. Comments. Catho G, I take it there's an interview of sorts before you're accepted from another party. There is, but like I say, optics-wise, it's really good and puts a lot of pressure on Sunak. Max thinks Sunak is going to wait till January to call a general election. Sunak would be mad to wait that long. With some of the chatter I've heard from the Conservative Club, I believe it. Daniel Starmer is just Tory light. When he offers you a moon on a stick, what he doesn't deliver, then what? This is why you form voting blocks. This is why you sort of show yourself to be an electoral force, and you sort of, you work towards these things. Takes a lot of work to do this, and honestly, when I hear people from the left say that, it makes me think that they're not willing to put in the hard work to sort of affect proper change, and that the second they run up against a brick wall or any difficulties, well, give up. Could Effie become Labour's deputy leader without a constituency? No. No, she's standing down. She's standing down. She's not continuing after the next election. She's not standing for another seat. I don't trust Labour myself, but after 14 years, I'll take my chances with Labour. This is it. The only other viable option you've got is Labour, and as I've said continuously, I don't know how many times, you've got to affect change and push them to be better, to get the policies you want, to join these movements, to join these groups. That is how you do it. It takes a lot of work. It is not something you can just affect overnight. Look at the campaign for PR. Like I've talked about this, I don't know how many times. The campaign for PR and Labour for PR has done so much work, and it has taken them well over a decade to get to this point, and there is still a lot more work to do. But the logic of a lot of these people is that Labour for PR and all the work that they've done should just give up because it's not worth it. That's a very, very bad worldview to take. But unfortunately, I think a lot of people on the left, if they actually go out and do this stuff and really campaign, and it's not that everyone on the left doesn't do this, but unfortunately there's a lot of people who seem to do that, and it affects a lot of disaffected people. It demoralizes, I think, a lot of people on the left, and then again they don't go out and vote, and it's again, yeah, we've been over that before. Sarah Davis, good morning. Cavalan, good morning to you. Yeah, and I'm a critic of Labour. I've said this before. I do not think, I'm not going to agree with everything that Keir Starmer does and everything that he says. You do not have to agree 100% with a party to support that party, or if you want a particular policy, and a certain party is doing it, maybe you should think about, how likely that party is to be able to implement that policy. Labour is currently your best chance to get a lot of progressive policies. As we've said, the next decade is all about wiping out the Tories for the next decade or so, so that we can get a lot of progressive stuff done. Craig, that's the thing with Dover Girl. We agree on housing, so we'll work together on housing. We just need to make enough to make that good enough to paper over the less contentious areas. Yep, exactly. Cavalan, good morning to you. Thank you very much for your super chat. I've just got to it finally. Catching up. I'm catching up with all the catching up with all this. Cavalan, we'll leave Fallout with Trice. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Gary Arnold, good morning to you. Yeah, Cathode G, yeah, that's right. Trice has all the money. Yeah, that's a fair point. Gary Arnold, Starney letting Dover Girl in, join Labour, makes me wonder how far right he's drifted. Again, don't worry about it because she's not running at the next general election. And honestly, when it comes to the whole immigration thing, oh, hang on. Don't know if you can see him. There he is. Heron. I can't see him, unfortunately, but no, never mind. Yeah, like I say, if you listen to what Yvette Cooper has been constantly saying in like the House of Commons, what he announced on Friday down in Dover is what Yvette Cooper has been saying for, well, since she became Shadow Home Secretary. Yeah, true, Cathal, Patrick H. Keir Starmer is not Joe Stalin. Policy is decided policy is decided democratically by the party. Yeah. Phonebox Chicken, good morning to you. Starmer, Kendall and Reeves may be Tories, but at least his government should be more competent, and that's an improvement, I suppose. The thing is, they're not Tories, though. Like, Rachel Reeves is probably going to be like the greenest chancellor we've ever had. And this is why I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that Starmer ends up doing in government, because you've got a lot of people right now that were saying the exact same things about Joe Biden. Joe Biden has done a lot of stuff for like progressives and really good stuff for America. And unfortunately, it doesn't get talked about because a lot of those people on the left just really, really hate Biden and really, really like Bernie Sanders. So they can't even bring themselves to admit that Biden's done a lot of good stuff for the left and progressives in America. And I think it's going to end up being the same way for us in the UK. Yeah, if Labour are far right, then what are the Tories? Exactly. And remember, you've got many Tories complaining about the fact that, you know, Starmer's going to introduce, you know, socialism. Hey. You know? You know, Rees-Mogg has been out warning his constituents about the dangers of Keir Starmer being in government, that you're going to unleash the socialist menace. Hang on, you'll have to forgive me because the sun is absolute a nightmare. I can't see what's on the screen sometimes. So anyway, Sarah. Oh, hang on, there we go. Sarah, I hope Labour tears up Rishi's plans for PPI payments, as a lot of disabled people and people with mental health will be destroyed by it. Again, I hope he does as well. I think there's a lot of good stuff for that coming forward, with the fact that you've seen Conservatives just completely trash away, you know, a minister for disabled people. I think that is an absolutely dumb move for the Conservatives. Such a dumb move. And you've already seen Labour saying, no, we're going to have a minister for, you know, disabled people, you know, or a disabilities. I think it's called the disabilities minister, because that's what you need. You know, I think having that minister and a minister dedicated to that is incredibly good, So that's something that Labour is going to get. So you've got a specific minister. If you've got problems like that, then you can talk to someone like that. At the moment, there is no disabled minister. Disabled minister. There is no disabilities minister at the moment, shall we say. Oop. There we go. Yeah, Starmer, Reeves and Kendall are not Tories. What a silly thing to say. Oh, Larry the Cat, good morning to you. And this is it. It's what it is you have a lot of really, really disaffected people who came into the Conservative Party because of Jeremy Corbyn, put all their eggs into one basket. I mean, what would have happened, right? What would have happened if after the 2017 general election, like, Jeremy Corbyn had a heart attack and died? Like, generally, what would have happened to the to the movement then? Honestly, I've said it before. Corbyn was just becoming such a cult on so many lines. It was sort of, going to become a thing because everyone was sort of congregating around him. And the warning signs were really all there. But again, I'm getting into criticising Corbyn, and I've done that for years now. It's just like, I'm getting fed up of, repeating myself again and again and again on these subjects. But again, I suppose I'm just going to be doing that now for the rest of my life. Like 20, 30 or so years now in the future, I'll still be getting comments of, we wouldn't be in this situation. We wouldn't be in this situation if only Jeremy Corbyn had won. Anyway, let's get up here. Well, I suppose this is one good point about this, although I'm going to have to. My feet are not going to be happy with me when I get home and I take these wellies off. So I wish I'd worn my walking shoes instead of these wellies now. Where are we? Storm should throw an ad hoc bank holiday when he gets in. Probably that'll be quite fun. Patrick H. I liked a lot of Corbyn's policies, but man, he was hopeless as a leader. Exactly. This is what I've said for years as well. A lot of Corbyn's policies were quite good, but he was useless as a leader. He was really bad at sort of selling these ideas and converting people over to them. He was good at preaching to the converted, but not a converter. And like I say, I've picked apart enough and done enough, good morning walks where we've talked about, why Jeremy Corbyn was such a bad leader, what he did wrong, and etc. And the thing is, when I was talking with, No Justice, we had that an entire conversation of, no, he was a bad leader. And yet there is just no acceptance. It is always scapegoating, blaming. Oh, well, there was an evil outside influence out to get him. But there is no reflection on him as a person, him as a leader, and what he did at the time to sort of deal with some of these things, you know. Ironically, you know, a lot of the same, you know, leadership qualities that he did not exhibit is the exact same qualities that Rishi Sunak does not exhibit either. And like it or not, I know there's a lot of like central control in the Labour Party. Again, I wish it was a bit, you know, I'd wish they sort of, you know, trust like the local parties a bit more, you know, to be able to select their own candidates. But I understand to some point, and you know, but you know, I wish they'd sort of trust local Labour parties a bit more. But again, shockingly, you can be part of a party and still criticise it as well, and want it to be better. Hang on, there we go. Where are we? Labour will get rid of, or have at least radically improved benefits and trying to turn the DUP into human beings. Again, I hope they do that. That does seem to be... Ugh. Okay, now I am sort of glad I wore my wellies. Oh, I'm glad I wore my wellies for this. Tell you what, will be, I think, jumping off this path, because I think this path, walking along here, is going to be absolutely suicide, considering last time we nearly lost a welly. I don't think this path is that dry enough yet to be able to walk along, but still very difficult to walk along. Anyway, let's get through all these comments before we go up here. There we are, Phone Chicken. Here we are. The Economist loves Liz Kendall and backed the leadership campaign in 2015. The same publication, there we go, wants to get rid of the NHS and probably is a fan of the Sutton Street crowd. Expect the worst. No one's going to get rid of the NHS. Like the idea of a politician right now standing on the idea of getting rid of the NHS. Sorry, it ain't going to work. Sarah Davis, yeah, wellies on a hot day, I know. Gary on, we've got the worst benefits in Europe, I think, in proportion GDP. Yep, we do. That's how it is. JRM is facing the candidate he won his seat from in 2010, who is Dan Norris. National Curry and a Beer Day. That'll be very funny if he announces that. I've always said he should have a beer curry in front of the cameras. That'll be very funny. Not according to Owen Jones, you can't. Yep. Worst benefits in northwestern Europe. Yeah, again, there's a lot of problems in the UK. A lot of problems compared to the rest. You know, the rest of the country, of like not only just this, but Europe itself. You know, there's a lot of problems to sort out, and a lot of them can be done by having, you know, good policy. And if you remember, when I was having my talk with Kevin Logan, I really sort of tried to hammer home to sort of him and sort of into that crowd that, look, you need, you know, even as a leftist, you should think about business policy. Like, what should the left's policy be on business? And it is, you know, oh, you want better workers' rights? Well, that's not business, that's workers' rights. You know, what should you do to be able to get businesses to be investing in more? You know, how can businesses become better? I think it's a fantastic thing that Labour are going to have an industrial policy. I just can't express how long it has been since we have had an industrial policy. And that is going to be fantastic. It's going to give direction to a lot of businesses and know which way the government is going to go in so that they can take advantage of that. You know, we talked about the whole Rishi's plan for the superconductor plan a while ago. That is just a complete waste of time, waste of public money. It's not going to work. we should be following Japan's example and doing what they're doing of just building one national superconductor, not superconductor, a chip plant, because they're spending the exact same amount of money as we are to do that. And that would be a very, very good investment from the UK government to make. Plus, remember when I had John Bosco on from sort of the We Own It campaign? I will say this now to all the people who are complaining or worried about Labour. Why are you so worried about Labour when you've got some really, really good regional city mayors that are doing some fantastic things, like relocalizing, public transport. Oliver Coppard has brought back Supertram back into public ownership. Honestly, it's not going to be as bad as I think a lot of these doomsayers are saying. And to be honest, the only reason they are getting away with sort of saying this is because at the moment there is no Labour manifesto. I've talked about how many times Starmer should have put one out years ago, but never mind, we'll probably get one very soon. And then when Labour start actually doing stuff, like this portion of the people are going to focus on all the mistakes and ignore all the successes that Starmer has. And will I talk about, his successes and not his mistakes? No, I'm going to talk about both, because then I think that's a lot more fair and balanced, because I'm not going to agree with everything that Starmer's going to do when he's in power, because, as I've said many times before, that's how government works. You do not agree with everything a government ever does. But you try selling that message, and unfortunately, it's the extreme message that always wins, which is the sad way to put it. Of everything's gonna get worse. So well, everything would only be better if Corbyn was in. Oh. And yeah, I've said this before, I am very, very much on the left, And yeah, there's a lot of people who don't believe me for some reason, but there you go. God, I'm going to do a video later today about a German politician's thoughts about blaming Europe and Germany for Brexit later on. Oh boy, are the comments going to be angry about that. How dare a German express British exceptionalism? Oh. Tories would sell off the national chip plant in a heartbeat. Well, this is why, you've got to make sure they don't get in again. And this is why I wish, like, the left in the UK were half as politically active and turned on as the French left. Because I'll tell you what, they don't like Emmanuel Macron, but my God, they will vote. They will line up and they will vote for Emmanuel Macron every single time, because they know if they don't, they're going to get Marine Le Pen. And they know and they recognise the damage that Marine Le Pen would do in power. Oh. Yeah. What a difference. What a difference. Again, like I say, I've really dressed far too warm for this day, honestly. Like, I didn't even need this. I might have, used my wellies a bit, but I really could have got away with just having my walking boots. I could have even worn my shorts. I didn't. I really did not think it was going to be this warm this early. More fool for me, I suppose. Ben Ridings. Will Rishi bring out his own line of suits for kids when he leaves office? Maybe. Who knows? Outside Views reckons Poland is now richer than GB. I think there's probably a couple of statistics and areas where you could show Poland is certainly better off, but I don't know about richer. Again, I don't know what data they're using to say or do that, but it wouldn't surprise me. Or if there's data to show, they're on a trajectory for that. Sunak wanted to go down in history. Well, did not want to go. Well, Sunak wanted to go down in history, but now he'll known as the man who destroyed the Tories. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I keep on saying this, but what exactly has Rishi Sunak done? Almost everything he has technically done is someone else's idea. I mean, even the Rwanda plan isn't his idea. It's Boris Johnson's plan. But he's got an ever decreasing time. He's now left with a complete zombie parliament. Ugh. Hang on. Somehow. There we go. It's better. Ugh. It is. I did not think it would be this warm, but wow. Oh, note to self. Prep summer clothes for next Saturday. That's woo. It ain't half hot. It ain't half hot. Ah. Catho G, you're right, Sarah Davis. I don't give much thought, again, to about benefit system in Ireland till I was suddenly reliant on it. Again, not many people do. Not many people do, unfortunately. And then I think they see the reality. And I wish, what I think would be a really good idea to sort of push for, would be to bring in the, I'm not sure how many, if all, like, the Nordic countries have it, but I know Sweden has it, of like national unemployment insurance. So it's sort of like, you pay into like national insurance. And then what happens is you get, I think it's 6 months if you lose your job, you get, is it 6 months full pay? I think. Yeah, 6 months full pay. Then it's, I think, Is it a year at half pay? And then I think it goes down to a quarter after that. I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. But at least now we're not sort of dragging ourselves through all that grass. But whew. Anyway, nice view. Nice view walking to the top of the hill, but oof. I could tell you what, I'm gasping for a brew. I'm absolutely gasping for a brew when I get back. Overnight, what has Sunak done? Well, between himself and Suella, he set Asian/non-Asian relations back in the UK over 40 years ago. So there's that. Sunak has better things to do than leading the Tories, so record defeat surely. Yep. Duke Vengeance, sod it, it's all Cameron's fault. Wouldn't surprise me if someone tries later on. How many work weeks left for Tories when you take breaks out and time for the election? Well, this is it. I mean, he's got an ever decreasing ticking clock, because you've got summer recess in the next couple of weeks that's going to sort of kick in, and then that's the Parliament broken up for at least a month during August. So he's got less and less time all the time. Starfighter, I'm going to make a video about the total disaster that is the new electronic custom system. Yes, I've been meaning to do that all this week, to be honest. But honestly, you know, I've become addicted to the Tory cope that they've been putting out. So it is on my list of videos to do. But yes, I am aware of just how bad the system is. Yeah, there's a piece in the I think it's a Kent Online that I'm going to use to cover it. But yeah, wow. Yeah, it's bad. And this is why I should have put my socks on, because it's rubbed right against my leg. Oh yeah, that's going to hurt when I take this off. There. I walked straight into a spider web. Ugh. Ugh. Narcon 1, Belgium has a system like that too, but it depends on how long you've worked for a particular employer. Yep. Splitting feathers, that lad. Exactly. Pikachu, Sunak should have called an election in May, as there were events outside of his control, so that is to Labour's advantage. There were also 2 polls in Scotland yesterday showing that Labour ahead of the SNP by 4 to 5 points. Sarah Davis, hope you have water with you. No, I don't, unfortunately, because I didn't think it was going to be this warm, but then never mind. Larry the Cat, get kettle on. Don't worry, I will do. Where's the nearest Ryanair to Barnsley? Manchester, Leeds, I think. Although I think they're roughly like the same distance, but there was Doncaster, but maybe that's coming back now, which is again good. You know, thanks to the regional mayor, we're getting that back. Get the rich tea out. Probably we'll have to. Trying to play the game from the depths. Ooh. I walked straight into the long grass. Not watching where I'm going at all. So it is, I don't know if you can tell, but it is an incredibly nice day. Nice view across the valley there. Oh, from the depths, that's the... Is that the one like that's like Battlestar Galactica, but it's on like a ship, and you fight against Cthulhu and etc., trying to get the ship to run. It's a good game. I've played it before. Sorry, Davis. I hope the next government MPs have a connection to things that can actually make them money by causing pain to people like Rishi and landlord MPs. Again, I think you've got to... That's something else that needs to be taken care of. Yeah, like landlordism needs to be sorted out. It's a big problem with our housing system. We need to sort that out drastically. But I've always said, you know, we're in a housing, you know, we have sleepwalked into a, you know, housing disaster. You know, with our system. But I'll tell you what, I'm glad I don't live in Ireland, because oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I'm sure Cathlo G will probably agree with me. Trying to buy a house in Ireland at the moment, well, yeah, good luck with that system. So far, the guy that paid to Rwanda has disappeared. I know, that's hilarious. So the location that's being paid to the taxpayer money is just still empty. Well, remember, they've sold off a good portion of the houses, and now Keir Starmer has said, yeah, we're going to scrap it once we're in power. What do you think Rwanda's going to do? What do you think Rwanda's going to do with all that money we've given them? I'm sure they'll totally give it back. You know, honest these guys. You know, you know, we promise. You know, cross our heart to give that money back. Yeah, I'm sure they will. Would you like to see more local initiatives like the one in Preston? Absolutely. You know, I'm a big fan of Paint Your Town Red. You know, the Preston model, absolutely something I believe and I sort of see in. And, you know, Keir Starmer's talked about this before, about, you know, giving local communities more say in you know, what they want to do and what they want to see. So I think that's very likely the next Labour government, as well as more devolution. So we'll get more, you know, regional mayors. Is there any truth behind the reports of the medicine shortage because of the border checks? I know that there are certain medicine shortages. I can't say it's a total medicine shortage, but I know that at least there are some medicine shortages, although I can't say what exactly they are. Yep, Cathlo G, absolutely. It's a nightmare trying to even rent a house around here. I mean, like I say, what is it? Better, you know, grass is always greener, etc. Cavaland, goodbye to you. So we are trudging on ourselves at the moment, so we'll be not too longer on here. But please do, if you've been enjoying yourself, please do remember to click on the like and share button. That helps. So hit the subscribe if you're new. Links for Pony Club, Patreon, etc. down below, where you can join and sort of help out the channel. Or you can always drop a super chat in. That helps with the channel too. It's warm. But yeah, I've really dressed far too warm for I've really dressed far too warm for today. And I did not need to wear my jeans nor these wellies. You need a neck fan. doesn't need a neck fan. I need to start bringing a hat with me. It's going to be this warm. Either that or I'll have to start earlier. Oh, Helen Wilkes, thank you very much for your super chat. Very much. Thank you very much. Oh. Straight in there. Straight in there. Nope. Nope. Standing in his way. Okay. Are you just obsessed with that post? I think you are. He just... I think he just wants to go there. Oh. Oh. Anyway. Got some nice ponies. So it's been a while since we've seen them for a while. Larry the cat. I wonder if Granny Waddlebottom has the same worm brain as RFK. I have no idea who that is. But I'm guessing I'm going to have to look into them. Oh. Martin Arnold, what does reform resettlement routes mean? Easy. So it is basically just a safe route. But the thing is with a safe route, it basically means you can get from point A to point B easily enough. A reform resettlement route is basically this. Not only are we doing what we should have done, which is what I've said for a long time, of, you know, properly fund the asylum system, is that now these people not only have a safe way to get across the channel, but they can also be settled into British life and, you know, get them, you know, some housing, get them, you know, settled into British life more sort of effectively. That is where I would say what it essentially would mean. Oh, Anne Widdecombe. God, you see, this is the thing. There's been so much Tory cope. I haven't even covered Anne Widdecombe because she's been doing a lot of stuff in Northern Ireland recently. Catho G, I've had some admin issues with my Pony Club subscription. We'll be back soon. Don't worry about it. Like you say, honestly, I would never want anyone to give, you know, or feel pressured into giving anything like that. So honestly, don't worry about it. Nicholas, I hope the ponies are getting royalties from your videos. I wonder if Susan Hall is the same worm brain as RFK. What's this? Seriously, Shannon, I'm trying to buy a house in Sheffield, but even getting snapped up by the online companies and then rented out as all the above market rates. So it's absolute pushing rent ups. It's an absolute nightmare. Exactly. This is something that we really need to tackle. If you want to solve the housing crisis in the UK, you've also really got to tackle the renting sector as well. And not only that, that'll help the high street as well. One of the big problems, if you are, you know, again, Sheffield High Street, there's lots of boarded up shops, etc. Why can't those shops afford it? Well, because the rent's too high. Well, might be the answer, oh, well, why don't you lower the rent then, you know, and you get people into these shops. Problem is, if you lower the rent, the landlord logic sets in, that if you lower the rent, then you are saying that your property is then of a lower value, then your property is now worth less. So this is part of the problem. We are really sort of too asset dependent here in the UK. A lot of wealth is tied up in like physical assets. It's something that we need to change. But how about we would go through that transition is there's lots of different ideas out there, but I can't really say exactly which is the way I would want to go or the way that I want to do it. But it is something that we need to do if we want to solve the housing crisis. It's not just, we can't just build our way out of it. We've really got to tackle the renting sector as well. Otherwise, that's a big problem. And like I say, I think rent controls would be a fantastic way to help that. But I've talked about it before about where would you give this power? Do you give it on a national government level? Do you give it to local councils, or do you give it to like city regional mayors? And then they get to sort of set that. I don't know. There's lots of answers and ways we can sort of tackle this, but it's how do we go about it? One thing we definitely need to do is sort out ground rent and get rid of that. But anyway, it's warm. It is warm. Yeah, this is it, Cathal. I really should try and find someone from Ireland to talk about this issue. I've really got to see if I can find someone to talk about this issue, because I'd make a really good video to sort of explain what's going on in Ireland, because my God, it's so weird. A vulture fund brought the whole estate here, 115 houses, but had to then drop out given the backlash. Yep. Patrick H. Rent should be paid on the basis of the value of the property and how much the landlord has spent on the property in the last 5 years. Rent should be no higher than the LHA rate. Again, like I say, there's lots of ways. There's lots of ways you can address this, but it's just trying to find out what is the optimal route, what is the optimal way to sort of help solve some of these problems. But anyway, there you go. Anyway, got a little pony. There you go. Quite a young one by the looks of it. Quite a young one indeed by the looks of that. But anyway, thank you all very, very much for joining me today on today's Good Morning Walk. It has been an absolute corker of a good morning walk today. As you can see, just look out there. Been absolutely fantastic weather. So go out, enjoy yourselves. Don't forget to wear your sunscreen, because you're probably going to need it today. Remember to wear a hat. Certainly I need to wear one next time. And certainly don't wear wellies when it's going to be this type of weather. But never mind. Now we know for next time. Cathal G, maybe I can organise someone to speak about this, but not sure how to contact you. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I'm on Discord as well. Like I say, I'm on various different things, so you can somehow get in contact with me through one of those. But I would love to sort of speak to someone about that. But bye, have a fabulous day. And again, you two enjoy yourselves as well. Go out, have fun. Again, don't forget to click the like and share button on your way out. Thank you very much. You've beaten me to it. But yes, do not forget to click the like and share button on your way out. Like I say, links down below to help support the channel if you'd like to help support the channel that way. And like I say, thank you very much for everyone for joining me on today's Good Morning Walk. And as always, go out there, enjoy yourselves, have fun. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.